Kevin Sampson. I'm here for Viewfinder. We're talking with producer extraordinaire at Arlington Independent Media, Mr. Craig Syphax. Craig, thanks for coming on Viewfinder.
Oh, no problem.
So, first things first, how did you first get involved with Arlington Independent Media?
As I was with the I'm with the Black Heritage Museum of Arlington, and we wanted to do some things that would put on our website, actually, some videos speaking of black history over this area. And I was singled out to come here to start taking classes. I came and was bitten by the bug.
All right, so how long have you been a member? When did you first start?
I believe it was around 2003 or 4. I'm not sure.
So we're a little over the 10-year hump, right?
My 10 years is in.
Awesome. All right, so you produce a lot of shows here. Can you just name some of them?
I have,
or all of them, actually.
I have A Seat at the Table, which is a talk show. I have Green Going Green, which is a mini documentary of a guy that is building a house all green economically, and the engineer and everything is green certified. And the other show that I have is Dejan's Discoveries, which is a restaurant, place to go, things to do, review kind of show. Those are the 3 that I have mainly working right now. The other ones are in hiatus.
I recently was able to direct one of your shows for you, which was A Seat at the Table. Can you just give us a synopsis about what the show is? Because I think it's very important to the community.
My show, A Seat at the Table, is a talk show, and it's mainly geared for the black community and mainly the local DMV, this area. And everyone is putting on an event that will be within a month or 2 from the time that I shoot the show. And we're just giving it some shine and let everyone know about what's forthcoming.
Can you tell us some of the people that have actually been on the show?
Well, first our host is Krista Jones, and she's from the Arlington area. And we've had Judge William T. Newman, who is an Arlington Circuit Judge. We've had Wanda Pierce, who is the chairman of the Arlington Community Foundation. And we've had the National Organization of Women's president. That's all I can remember right now.
So you had some well-known names in the community at large. You talked about getting the bug. So can you talk a little bit more about that bug? Because as you just pointed out, you're producing talk shows, mini documentary, many different forms of video and shows. But what brings you joy, and what do you enjoy the most about creating shows?
The whole process of starting, thinking it out, camera angles, lighting, I like all of it. The editing can be stressful, but everything else is nice and funful.
All right, so do you wear all the hats on your shows, or do you work with other volunteer members here at AIM to get them made?
When I'm producing, I wear the producer hat as well as usually camera as well. And that's usually how that goes on my shows. I'm usually mainly the camera as well as producer.
So when it comes to your shows, like for instance, your mini documentary, what's your process in terms of producing the show? How do you keep keep the crew together, sending out emails, making sure everything happens at the appointed time?
So far, everything has been happening the way it ought to, where I send out an email and everyone is in accordance with the day and time that I have allotted for it, and the talent can be there. There's only been a few times when I had some problems and had to pick up someone new, but mainly all my shows have the same crew.
Okay. So what would you say has been one of the challenges in creating a show? For producers that might be watching and thinking about, oh, I want to start a show myself, but I don't know what to do.
Take some courses here at Arlington Independent Media. And then once you get green lighted to go and make something, make it happen. You just got to have the will, the determination, and get out and go get it and do it.
All right. So you would say overall, it's really not a challenging process. Once you've gone through the appropriate classes here at AIM, you found it to be pretty easy to create the shows.
The first show will always be the stickler. That'll be the one where you'll really learn the ropes and how things, what goes wrong and what doesn't. But then after that, everything flows.
All right. So with over 10 years of producing, what would you say is one of your fondest moments or one of the shows that you're most proud of?
I'd probably say it was the show that I did for the Arlington Civil War Sesquicentennial Committee. It was a Civil War synopsis of the Civil War in Arlington, where I got to be at Arlington Cemetery. I was green lighted to go everywhere and all over Arlington and do as what I wanted to.
Nice. So you were able to actually get at the National Cemetery? Is that what you...
Arlington National Cemetery.
Okay. And then you were able to just shoot a documentary. Can you talk just a little bit more about it?
It was a half-an-hour show, and I had to have a screenwriter. And the individual, I put an ad out on Craigslist, and I got like 40 responses. And out of the 40, I picked one person. And he lived in New York, but he was from this area. He lived in New York at the time. He wrote the script, and I shot everything and produced the music and everything that he wanted for it. So when it was finished, we had a little question-answer series at Marymount University. And after that, he took that to Channel 7 in Roslyn. Got a job, and now he does script writing for news.
Craig Syphax, making jobs come true. Oh, man, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a huge supporter of AIM over the years. What do you enjoy about being a member, and why have you felt that it's important to support AIM and AIM's goals?
I feel that this is a good venue for anyone that wants to get a message across and also memorialize it in a way, by having it on a chip or on film or something, and you can watch it and you can get your voice out there without actually being there. I support AIM because, like I say, I got bitten by the bug. And I just like I think this whole entertainment thing of video is exciting. And I like it.
All right. How do you see yourself making a difference in the Arlington community as a member of AIM?
I would probably say the best way I could see myself making a difference through AIM is by getting the Freedman Village story out, because that is like something that began here. The Robert E. Lee story, Arlington Cemetery, things of that sort.
All right. And can you just tell us a little bit about Freedman's Village and how that's important to you or special to you?
When the emancipation took place, the slaves needed something to do at that time because they were still on the property of these people that they were freed from. So the government took it into their hands to put all of the slaves that were from this area of the D.C., Alexandria. It was called Alexandria at the time. So all the slaves from this area that became free, they put them all in this area called Freedman's Village. And it was a beta form of the actual form that they used to go throughout the South. by forming these things, these little villages. And the village was actually where Henderson Hall is today.
Okay.
And why it's so significant to me is that the owner of the property, the original owner, George Washington Park Custis, in his will left it to Mariah Syphax, his daughter that he had with a slave, but he still left it to her in his will. So when Robert E. Lee lost the war, and he brought that to their attention that this property is willed to her, saying you can't do anything to it. They saying what we're going to do is put all of you all on this piece of property and call it Freeman's Village. So they what do they call it? Domain, eminent domain. They eminent domain that whole situation.
Okay.
And created this village on it, which was a good creation because it was a good start for everybody because it was self-contained. It had its own schools, the post office, markets. It had churches and hospitals. It had everything like that.
Hospitals, churches. So this was a large piece of property.
17 acres.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
And a military installation is on it today, Henderson Hall.
Okay. All right. So obviously we see that Arlington and this area is obviously special to you, and I appreciate you just sharing the history of Freeman's Village with us. So one last few questions I have is, what is your vision for the future as a producer, and are there any particular programs that you're excited about either embarking on or continuing?
I can't talk about what I am planning on to do through contractual rights. I have a few shows that are in the thought process, but they haven't fully come to the light as me wanting to do them yet. I still have to talk to a few people to see if they're interested. I need talent. But I have some thoughts of some shows to come up, and I'm also helping other people that are doing their shows and co-producing. These will all be coming up during this winter season.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Coming soon.
To a theater near you. All right. So what advice would you give for anyone that is looking to produce at Arlington Independent Media?
The advice I would give is to want to do your best in everything you do, because this is your mark. You're showing yourself here. So you want to do the best you can, and you don't. So if you use all the tools that they give you here, and if you take the courses, then you'll put out a good product. You'll produce something worthwhile. But if you just try and wing it and then show it to someone, they'll say, you were in a elementary class or something, But you can really put out a good product if you take the courses and know what you're doing.
All right. That's awesome. Well, Craig, thanks a lot for coming on Viewfinder. Definitely enjoy the programs that you produce, and look forward to this winter when we get some new Craig Syphax shows.
Anticipation.